Have you ever stopped and wondered what really makes you tick? What's that deep down thing that drives your choices, your passions, basically your entire outlook on life? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a fascinating tool designed to reveal that hidden code that guides your every move. Let's dive in. Okay, let's start with something really simple. Pizza or broccoli? What's your gut reaction? It seems like a totally minor choice, right? But it's a preference, and it's all yours. How about this one? Would you rather be out on a dance floor or curled up with a good book? Again, there's no right or wrong answer, just what feels right for you. And these little preferences, they're really just the tip of the iceberg. That's because underneath all of these choices, from food to hobbies to life's biggest decisions, we're all guided by this unique internal compass. And that compass, it's made up of our values. So what do we even mean by values? Well, just think of them as what truly matters most to you deep, deep down. They're like these core principles that shape how you see everything. They quietly steer your thoughts, your feelings, and yeah, ultimately your actions. Okay, so here's a cool idea. What if we could actually visualize these complex motivators? Imagine mapping them out, not with a bunch of boring words, but with a vibrant palette of colors. It's a really simple but powerful concept. Each color in this system represents a core way of thinking. For instance, someone with a lot of dark red in their profile, they're often an adventurer, always seeking the next thrill. A person driven by blue really values order and rules, and someone with a strong orange streak, they are all about setting goals and crushing them. Now, this color system isn't just random, it's actually based on a really well-researched model called spiral dynamics. It started with the work of Dr. Claire W. Graves and was later developed by Don Beck and Christopher Cowan. The whole theory suggests that our values, both as individuals and as whole societies, can evolve through these different color-coded stages over time. So you're probably wondering, how do I find out my own personal color code? Well, that is where the ST test comes in. It's a specialized test designed to decode that unique blend of values that's driving your life. And listen, this isn't some simple you're either this or you're that kind of quiz. Based on your answers, there are over 7,000 possible unique combinations. To put that number into perspective, 7,000 is way more combinations than all the ice cream flavors at a huge scoop shop or all the types of donuts at a fancy bakery. I mean, we are talking about a seriously staggering amount of variety in human values. It really hammers home this core idea. Just like snowflakes, every single person's motivational mix is completely unique. It's that one-of-a-kind blend that truly makes you, you. All right, so with thousands of possibilities and every single person being unique, you'd think that the results from a huge group of people would be, well, all over the place, right? Researchers analyzed this massive data set to see what was really going on. Just look at this number, almost 91,000 test results. So here is the big question. When they sifted through all of those results from people in 172 different countries, how many common, recurring patterns of values did they actually find? And the answer, just 8,048. I mean, think about that for a second. Out of more than 90,000 people, human values consistently clustered into just a few thousand shared patterns. It's like we're all painting from the same rainbow. It turns out our core motivations might have a lot more in common than we think. But hey, figuring out your pattern isn't the end of the story, not even close, because your value profile today is really just a snapshot in time. The key thing to get here is that these values aren't permanent. They can, and they do, change. Just think about your own life. When you were 5, your entire world might have revolved around toys and playtime. By 15, your focus probably shifted to friends, school, and just fitting in. Then at 25, things like career and family might suddenly become the most important things. As we experience life, our values adapt. So this brings up a really fascinating question. Is there a peak? A final, ultimate level of values in this whole model? Some people believe there is, and in this system, it's called turquoise. It represents this incredible global vision, a super deep purpose, and harmony with the world. But reaching this peak is incredibly rare, and as it turns out, it's really, really hard to maintain. Get this. Out of those 90,000 plus results, only a single person managed to score a high 40% in turquoise. And what's even crazier, when that same person took the test again 5 years later, they couldn't get that result again. It's truly like trying to stand on the peak of a very tall, very slippery mountain. Now, the SD test is an amazing tool all on its own, but it gets even more insightful when you start combining it with other data. By looking at these value colors next to other polls, like what people fear or their favorite school subjects, you can start to see a much, much richer picture of what's going on. For example, you might find a strong link where people with high orange values, remember, the achievers, also consistently say math is their favorite subject. The test shows the value, and the poll shows what engages that value. Together, they paint a way more complete portrait. So while very, very few of us may ever hit that turquoise peak, that's not really the point, is it? The real value is in the journey itself. Understanding our motivations and seeing how they shift over time, that's where the real growth happens. At the end of the day, this isn't just about a test or some abstract theory. It's really a mirror for self-discovery. So as you go about the rest of your day, maybe take a moment to ask yourself, what colors are painting your world?